Question 16. Quasi-federal nature of the Indian Constitution. Introduction. Understanding federalism in the Indian context. Federalism in political theory denotes a system of government in which powers are divided between a central, that is national authority, and constituent units, that is states or provinces, each being independent in its own sphere. It ensures unity with diversity, balancing national integration with regional autonomy. The Indian Constitution, however, does not strictly follow the classical federal model as seen in the United States. Instead, it establishes what jurists have called a quasi-federal or union of states system, a unique blend of federal and unitary features. The framers of the Constitution deliberately designed this structure to suit India's vast size, social diversity, and historical context, ensuring both strong central authority and state autonomy. First, meaning of the term quasi-federal. The term quasi-federal means a system that is federal in form but unitary in spirit. It is not purely federal like the USA, nor purely unitary like the UK, but a hybrid model combining features of both. In such a system, while powers are divided between the center and the states, the center possesses greater authority, especially in times of crisis, making the balance tilt towards centralization. The term was first used by K.C. Weir, a noted constitutional expert who described India as a quasi-federal state with strong unitary bias. 2. Constitutional basis. Article 1. Article 1 of the Constitution declares India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. The phrase union of states itself reflects the unique character of Indian federalism. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar explained that India is a union, not a federation, because 1. The Indian Federation is not the result of an agreement among the independent states. 2. The states have no right to secede from the Union. Hence, the Indian Union is indestructible, even though its internal structure is federal. Third, federal features of the Indian Constitution. Although not fully federal, the Constitution incorporates essential federal characteristics. First, dual polity. There are two levels of government, the union government and the state governments, each deriving powers from the Constitution through Articles 245 and 246. Second, distribution of powers. The 7th schedule divides legislative powers into 3 lists. Union lists, 97 subjects, example defense, foreign affairs, etc. State lists, consisting of 66 subjects, example police, public order, and concurrent lists consisting of 47 subjects, example education, marriage, etc. This division ensures both autonomy and coordination. Third, supremacy of the Constitution. Both the center and states function under the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. Fourth, written and rigid Constitution. The Indian Constitution is written and partly rigid, meaning federal provisions cannot be changed unilaterally. For example, Article 368 requires special procedures for amending federal provisions, that is, needing state ratifications. Fifth, independent judiciary. The Supreme Court of India acts as the guardian of the Constitution and arbiter of center-state disputes. Article 131, ensuring the federal balance is maintained. Sixth, bicameral legislature. The Rajya Sabha, Council of States, represents the interests of states at the national level, another hallmark of federalism. Fourth, unitary features of the Indian Constitution. Alongside federal traits, India's Constitution incorporates strong unitary elements to ensure national unity and effective governance. 1. Strong center. The distribution of powers is weighted heavily in the favor of the center. The Union list contains more subjects of vital importance, and in the concurrent list, Union law prevails in case of conflict through Article 254. 2. Single constitution and citizenship. Unlike the US, India has one unified constitution and single citizenship for all citizens, ensuring unity of the polity. 3. Integrated judiciary. There is a single judicial system with the Supreme Court at the apex and not separate federal and state courts. 4. Appointment of governors. The governor, who is the head of the state, is appointed by the President under Article 155 and acts as a link between center and state, giving the center indirect control. 5. Emergency provisions. During emergencies, India becomes unitary in character. Under Article 352 National Emergency, the center assumes legislative powers of the states. Under Article 356 President's rule, the state government can be dismissed. Under Article 360 Financial Emergency, the center controls state finances. 6th. Power of reorganization of states. Under Article 3, the Parliament can create, alter or merge states without the consent of the states concerned, reflecting central supremacy. 7th. Single Election Commission and All India Services. A single election commission conducts elections across the country, and All India Services IAS, IPS, IFS serve under both the Union and the states, ensuring administrative integration. 5th. Why the framers choose a quasi-federal model. The Constitution Assembly intentionally avoided a rigid federal system for several historical and practical reasons. 1. Historical legacy. India inherited a unitary administrative structure from British rule, which could not be dismantled suddenly. 2. Need for unity in diversity. Given India's vast linguistic, cultural and regional diversity, a strong center was essential to prevent disintegration and maintain national integration. 3rd. Threat of external aggression and internal disturbances. The framers anticipated emergencies such as wars, communal tensions and secessionists movements requiring a centralized response mechanism. 4th. Economic planning and development. Coordinated economic policy across states required central leadership. 5th. Experience of partition. The trauma of partition made the assembly wary of giving states too much autonomy, fearing separatism. Thus, they created a flexible federation, one that could act federal under normal conditions but unitary in crisis. 6th. Judicial interpretation of quasi-federalism. Indian courts have consistently recognized the unique character of Indian federalism. First, State of West Bengal versus Union of India 1963. The Supreme Court held that India is not truly federal but a union with indestructible unity, though with federal features. Second, S.R. Bomai versus Union of India 1994. The court reaffirmed that federalism is part of the basic structure of the Constitution, meaning the center cannot destroy state autonomy arbitrarily. Third, Kesavananda Bharati versus the State of Kerala 1973. The court held that the federal character of the Constitution forms part of its basic structure, which cannot be amended. These judgments reveal that while India's constitution is centrally strong, it also preserves essential federal balance through judicial safeguards. 7th. Examples reflecting quasi-federalism in practice. Example 1. During the 1975-77 emergency, India functioned as a completely unitary state with all powers concentrated in the center. Example 2. The Goods and Services Tax (GST) system shows cooperative federalism where both center and states share fiscal powers. Example 3. The use of Article 356, that is President's Rule, in states like Punjab in 1987 and Jammu and Kashmir in 2018 shows the center's overriding authority. These examples show that while federalism exists, it operates within a strong central framework. 8th, modern trends from quasi-federal to cooperative federalism. In recent years, India has evolved toward cooperative and competitive federalism, emphasizing coordination rather than domination. Institutions like the Niti Aayog encourage joint policy making between the center and states. Similarly, the GST Council reflects a spirit of shared decision making, demonstrating that India's quasi-federal system is becoming more interactive and balanced. Thus, India today can be described as a federation of cooperation, not merely a federation of control. Summary for quick understanding. The Indian Constitution is quasi-federal, that is, it combines federal structure with a unitary spirit. It provides for dual governments, division of powers, and an independent judiciary, but gives predominant authority to the center, especially during emergencies. This design ensures unity, flexibility, and effective governance in a diverse nation. In essence, India is a federal in normal times and unitary in exceptional times. Quick revision notes. Meaning: federal form with unitary bias. Key phrase: Union of States under Article 1. Federal features include dual polity, power division, Supreme Constitution, and independent judiciary. Unitary features include strong center, emergency powers, single citizenship, governor's appointment, unified judiciary. Judicial view is federalism is a part of the basic structure. Aim is to preserve unity while allowing regional autonomy. The modern trend includes cooperative federalism, Niti Aayog, GST Council, etc. One-line questions and answers for revision. Who described India as a quasi-federal? K.C. Vehera. 2. What does quasi-federal mean? A system that is federal in form but unitary in spirit. 3rd. What article declares India a union of states? Article 1. 4th. Can states secede from the union? No, the union is indestructible. 5th. How are powers distributed? Through the union, state, and concurrent lists. 7th schedule. 6th. Who appoints the governor? The President of India appoints the governor. 7. What happens during emergencies? The system becomes unitary. 8th. Which case upheld federalism as a basic structure? S.R. Bomai versus Union of India, 1994. 9th. What is India's modern federal trend called? It's called cooperative federalism. 10th. In simple terms, how is India described? Federal in structure, unitary in spirit. Final connection. The quasi-federal nature of the Indian Constitution reflects a creative adaptation of federalism to India's complex realities. It blends central strength with state autonomy, ensuring that neither anarchy nor disintegration undermines unity. In spirit, it realizes Dr. Ambedkar's vision of a system unitary in strength but federal in structure, where India remains one nation, united in purpose, diverse in governance, and flexible in function. Thank you very much for listening.